Hey guys, quiet, greasy office hours. Quiet because I'm always way too loud and I haven't slept. Right now is noon. I haven't slept since 7 a.m. yesterday because my doctor wants to reset me because I've been going through insomnia and he says you should reset yourself by not sleeping for 36 hours. And so I'm trying to do that. Very difficult if you've ever tried to do that. They should have reset. We should have reset buttons on our back, so it's just a boom and you're good. Especially like mental resets. Press a button, all your distortions are gone, and you start over. Anyway, so I've got a few questions and I've got some time, so I want to knock them out for the community. Question one. Oh, the greasy. This is the greasy part. Which is kind of gross, but I'm not perfect. Question one. My boyfriend of almost 4 years recently found out that I was talking and hung out with my ex boyfriend 2 years ago, and found a photo on my laptop that was in 2013. I admit to my faults and apologize. We argued and I told him that that was in a time where I wasn't sure with who we were together, and that's not who I am today. We've managed to slightly move past this mistake in my past, but randomly he'll start to ask me questions regarding what happened 2 years ago, and I've told him that we can't keep looking to the past. What should I do because the subject keeps coming up? Because I know I did wrong, but I don't want my fault to define who I am today because that's not me. Please help me get past this. Okay, this is actually very common, and I don't think that it's you that needs to get past this. I think it's your boyfriend, and it's all you can do is express the truth and where you're at, and whether he decides to believe that or he decides to get over the quote unquote past. That's kind of his stuff. That's his journey. There's nothing you can really do about that. Now, the danger, and something I think that he should know, whether it's from you or hope maybe if he's watching this video from me, is if he holds on to this too long, feelings are going to start to change. So I think that there's going to be a drift unless he starts to get over this or starts to let it go or starts to not let this bother him. Whether he does it with a therapist or by himself or his friends or whatever, all you can do is be honest, and it seems like you are. I'm a little confused. It says here that I was talking and hung out with my ex-boyfriend 2 years ago and found a photo on my laptop that was in 2013. So I don't know if you mean hung out with a boyfriend that you dated 2 years ago or that you hung out with him recently, with someone that you've been with for 2 years. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, either way, it seems like you're good now and you're solid, but he has insecurities about the past. What should I do because the subject keeps coming up? Well, you should express to him that you're being honest and you don't want this to keep coming up anymore. Ask him what he needs from you. You know what I'm saying? And which should be fair, not like, if he wants some kind of apology letter, if he wants something, he wants you to do something with the. What am I talking about? If he wants, if he wants you to do something that you don't have control over, or something, or I don't know, call the guy up, or wants something that is unfair, then you have to let him know that that's his stuff. It's not yours. Okay. Hello. My name is. I don't want to say the person's name. And I have this question. I've had this question for a long time. I've been afraid of the answer for an unknown reason. Okay. I'm 21 years old and I'm currently a roughneck for the oil field, working 13, 16 hours a day. I'm really big into CrossFit and fitness as a whole. I want to be the best possible human being as possible. Awesome. But working, the awesome was from me, not from the letter, the question. But working a long time gives me zero time to myself. I'm surrounded by angry people and I want out of this job. Um, but I'm afraid that I'm not qualified for anything else other than manual labor. Okay, let me highlight that because that's going to be where I pull from. Where will I be okay if I found a lesser paying job that I am home every night? I recently bought a truck and am having to make $350 payments plus rent, which is around $400 a month, and rent is only $50. Damn, you live in a treehouse? What's going on? And I am in debt about $13,000. I feel like won't be able to afford anything without this job. I feel hopeless. Okay, in your opinion, so here's the question: what should I do? I'm looking to just start over. I have dreams that I want to accomplish, but I don't want to go broke. Okay, you're very young, so you have time. The thing I highlighted was I'm afraid that I'm not qualified for anything other than manual labor. Okay, so uh, Jonathan, I said I wouldn't say his name. I'm not gonna say your full name. That's a false belief. So you're pulling from that, and you're staying in a shitty job because you're afraid of that. Now I get the logistics. I get that you have a truck, and you have to pay $50 a month to live in your treehouse, and you've got a debt. I'm just joking about the treehouse. That's not funny. I know you have a debt, and I know that it costs money to eat and survive and all that. But your quality, think of your quality of life. Think of, I think a lot of people stay in jobs because of fear, and think if that's what I mean. That's obviously what you're doing. You're afraid. So I would look. You're 21. I don't think it's worth it. I think you should prove yourself wrong. And what I mean by that is that you are qualified more than just manual labor. And I think that once you prove yourself to yourself that you can do that by actually pursuing and getting a job that is something that you're passionate about, something that doesn't feel like it's something that you have to do, then things are going to change and you're going to thrive more. And also 13 16-hour days, I think that's a lot. And it takes away from other parts of your life like CrossFit and fitness and all that. So I think you could make it happen. I think you swing it. I know you have a little debt and you have payments, but if you're in a toxic environment, and then for me it always goes back to containers and how that toxicity stunts our growth, whether we're talking about a relationship or a job. I don't think it's worth it. I think you should start looking. I'm not saying quit tomorrow, but at least put that out in the universe and start looking and start being active. Start attacking it aggressively. Okay. Final question. Hi, I'm trying to get my 26-year-old son to a therapist to deal with his anger issues. At this point, I'm not sure if we should be looking at a treatment center or at the angry therapist. He has some therapy, but does not stick with it long enough to really get to the root of the problem. He lives, I'm not going to say where he lives, but that's close to you. Would it be possible for my husband and I to have a conversation with you? We blah, blah, blah. He needs help ASAP. We are exhausted by his moods and rages. Great kid, very talented musician, but he is his worst enemy, as many of us are. Please advise, thank you. So, quick note: when I'm getting these questions, it doesn't show me where I'm getting them from, and I set that up like that on purpose because I want them to be anonymous, and I don't want your email if you don't want me to have it. So, you're obviously a member in the community. I don't know who you are, so just email me at theangrytherapist.com. If you want a more I don't know, expanded answer, I guess. Expanded, I don't know if that's a word. But, okay, it's a couple things. One, forcing someone to do therapy, and I don't know if that's what's happening, because it sounds like here that he doesn't really stick to it, it's not going to help. no one changes unless they want to, and setting up, positioning people to try to get. All you can do is tell him how concerned you are and that it's affecting you guys, the relationship, the family, all that. It's going to affect him in his life to the point where it's going to have to affect him in his life to the point where he decides, you know what, this is something I want to change about myself. And he's not a teenager; that would be different. He's actually an adult. He's 26 years old. So I would treat him like one and let him know some of the ideas that you guys have, and that you want him to see a therapist and all that stuff, and let him support him in that, I think. But you can't. I don't think this is something where it's like, a life. It's not like he needs an intervention, And again, I don't know the specifics. I don't know how extreme. Would I see him? Sure. Email me and we could talk about it. And I think that's it. What else do I have to say about this? Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to this because we care about our friends, we care about our family, our sons, siblings, and we think we know what the best is for them, and many times we do. But if the person is not willing to change, it's going to be a waste of time and money. So, on that note, I am going to stay awake, and I'll see you soon.